how far are these Senate Democrats who are on the ballot this November going to go in the final 6 weeks at distancing themselves from Barack Obama? We've seen it a lot from some of the challengers. Someone like Allison Grimes running against Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in Kentucky out this week with an ad that shows her skeet shooting and saying that she disagrees with Obama on coal, the EPA, and guns.
With every day and every debate, candidates are not only pounding home what they bring to the congressional table, but what their opponents are running from. And now we bring to the mix charges that the current Ebola crisis is due in part to Republicans failing to act. And that has brought an entirely new and to some ludicrous sideshow to the pro-vote proceedings. Let's make some sense of it all. Welcome back to MidPoint, former U.S. Senator from Florida and now chairman of the Gunster Law Firm, also head of the LeMieux Center for Public Policy at Palm Beach Atlantic University. George LeMieux joins us in studio again. George, always a pleasure to see you here.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
Here we go. But lots happening here even in the last 24 hours. Now there is a report in the Washington Post that the aides to the White House knew about a link to Cartagena, Colombia, the Secret Service, the prostitution scandal that's going on, and that it all was a cover-up. Somebody said, don't say anything and keep it quiet. Why am I not surprised?
Well, maybe we shouldn't be surprised, but this is a big problem for this administration because this is no longer just about the Secret Service agents, many of whom were fired after that incident. It's about a member of President Obama's advance team who the records indicate, as the Washington Post story shows, may have had one of these prostitutes in his room, that was reported by the Secret Service. They were dissuaded from bringing that information forward, that the Inspector General at the Department of Homeland Services also looked at it, dissuaded from bringing it forward. You know, the worst is not the crime, it's the cover-up. And if there is really somebody on the administration team who was involved with one of these prostitutes in Colombia, there is a real problem. And here's the real problem. This is not just whether or not you should engage in prostitution or whether or not you should make our country look bad by committing a crime in a foreign country. Here's the real problem. When you're traveling abroad on behalf of the United States, other foreign governments, folks who are not our friends, will put people like prostitutes, spies in place to compromise our officials. So this is a very dangerous piece of foreign policy. If someone in the administration was compromised by a foreign agent posing as a prostitute, that could be really bad for national security.
What does this tell us, though, about an administration? Because certainly everything filters down. There is a leadership quality that has to be there, whether you're at the White House or whether you're in a small business someplace. The people underneath you need to understand what that leadership is and what their role is. There's loyalty here, but there's the ways to do things right and wrong. And when you get down here to a White House aide that knew about this, what does that tell us, though, about the people above that aide that are running the show here and at the same time running the country?
Well, that old expression that fish stinks from the head, if you don't have leadership at the top of the organization that sets the moral tone for how things are going to go, how people are going to act, how people are going to accord themselves, then you've got that problem all the way through the administration. By folks maybe the president doesn't even know, but the president sets the tone. But this has been the White House administration that can't shoot straight. From our problems in Syria to dealing with Ukraine to just basic blocking and tackling of trying to get things done through the legislative process, through to the oil spill we had in Florida, which was a disaster from this administration. They just can't get it done.
Other big story going on here, right? This came out of the Wall Street Journal that apparently members of the Democrats are now blaming the Republicans for the Ebola crisis here in America. They're saying that it is the disinvestment and austerity cuts produced by the Republicans that have harmed the U.S. and international public health policies. As a matter of fact, Arkansas incumbent Mark Pryor is running ads right now saying that it was the Republicans' fault who did this. This is desperation at its ugliest, is
Absolutely.
it not?
So when you watch those movies and they have the red button behind the big plastic case so you don't accidentally hit it, well, the Democrats have taken the case off and they are hitting the panic button. The fact that they would blame Republicans for a virus that's in Africa and try to interject that as a campaign issue, it's because Mark Pryor is down 7 points to Tom Cotton in Arkansas. Things go as they look like they're going to go. He's going to lose that election. He's trying everything. His campaign is trying everything to muddy the waters so that he can potentially win that race.
30 seconds, and then we'll take a break. But whether you're Democrats blaming Republicans or Republicans blaming Democrats, if you're using a virus that can kill people as an election campaign ploy, that's despicable.
It is despicable, and it's the height of desperate politics. So here we are a month basically before the election. These Democratic Senate incumbents and challengers realize that they're not going to win their races. This is not the end of it. This is the beginning of those crazy charges.
We have to talk a little bit more about what's going on right now in the debates, because what's happening in the debates right now and putting distance between the president is actually almost entertaining. After the break, a former president also who hammers away at Barack Obama's ISIS policies. And why would anyone fire a campaign manager this close to Election Day? Later on this hour, the Yes Means Yes debate and the inclusion of something called common sense, which used to be pretty common in America, but apparently is not anymore. That and much more coming up right here on MidPoint, where we question everything.